Good morning, scholars. Welcome back to the channel. This morning we're looking at prisms. What are prisms? Well, a prism is a three-dimensional figure, three-dimensional object that has identical bases. That means the top and the bottom are identical, they're the same shape, connected by rectangular faces or sides, right? And the bases can be any shape, any polygon. So when we talk about the base, we mean what it's sitting on. When you rest the prism on something, that thing that it's sitting on, as well as the thing at the top, the part at the top. Now the prism is closed, so all sides are closed, and as we say, it's three-dimensional. So three-dimensional means it's not flat. So when we talk about plane or flat shapes, we're talking about rectangles, squares, the other polygons, so they only have 2 dimensions, length and width. The prism has an additional dimension, height. So it's raised off the surface. So prisms have volume, so we should write that. Prisms have volume. That means you can fill them up. You can fill them up with fluids. Whether it's gases or liquids, you can fill the inside of the prism with a fluid all the way up to the top, right? And remember, the prism itself is sealed, but the idea is it has space on the inside because it has height or depth to it. So it has area plus height, area and height, and that gives volume. The area times the height produces volume or space for us to fill up the inside of the prism. So let's look at the different types of prism. Now remember, we said any polygon can be the base of the prism. So we can have a prism shaped like a triangle at the base, shaped like a square at the base, shaped like a rectangle, shaped like a trapezium, shaped like a parallelogram, a pentagon, hexagon. Any polygon can be the base of the prism, and the top must be the same shape as the base. And then the sides now, they're just connected by straight lines, so that's why we say they're connected by rectangular sides. Is the circular based object that has a circular base, circular top, is that a prism? Well, some persons would say no. Some sources will tell you yes. The sources that say yes, well, the ones that say no, their idea is, well, the circle really has no side. That's what they're saying. The circle has no straight side, rectangular side. It's curved all the way around it. So would it meet that definition? The ones who are saying yes, the circular base of three-dimensional object is a prism, because it's just that it has a continuous rectangular base, side, because if you were to cut, so look at this. This is in the shape of a circular prism. It's not a strict prism because it's open at the side, the base and the top, and the prism should be closed, but it's cylindrical. It has that general shape of what we would talk about when we're saying a circular prism: circular bottom, circular top. If we were to cut along the side and open it out, it would form a rectangle. Because look, see, this is a rectangle. If we curve it around itself, see, it creates what we generally think of as a circular prism, a circular three-dimensional object, circular top, circular bottom, just like this. Open it out, it's a rectangle. So the persons who are saying yes, the circular this circular object is a prism, the circular prism, and they call it the cylinder, they are saying yes, it meets the definition because it's it looks curved, but it's really a rectangle. It's just a continuous side, but it's a rectangular side. And then you have others who are saying no, 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 no. Listen, in all subject areas you will have topics that some people agree to say it's this way and some people say no, it's that way. You'll always find that not all things are set in stone, not even in mathematics, which we like to think of as rigid and operating by laws, right? Even in mathematics, there are things that mathematicians do not agree on. High-level mathematicians are arguing over certain things, and this is natural, this is normal. We're evolving and we're learning, and we are agreeing on things, because remember, much of what we consider to be facts many times is just what we have decided to agree upon, right? So you decide what you think of the cylinder. Is it a prism or not? The closed cylinder. This one is open, right? So it would have a hard time convincing us. But look at this one. This one is closed at the top and the bottom. This is a cylinder. It's made of tin, so it's a can. My son got this when he went on a geography field trip, and they were teaching them how to can stuff, right? So he came home with this. I've had it for a long time, starting to rust. But it's closed at the base, closed at the top, and it's circular. So this is what we would be thinking of when we're saying a cylinder or a circular prism. Okay? You decide which side of the court you're going to be on with that. But everybody agrees though. And this, look at the chalk. So this would classify, if we're saying the cylinder is a prism, so this would be a prism, the chalk. See that? Circular base. It's hard for you to see, right? So circular base, circular top, and the side which is curved, but we know that in essence it's a rectangular, a continuous rectangular side, right? But look at these now. So these guys, everybody agree these are prisms. These are rectangular prisms. So we have rectangular bases, rectangular tops, and they are connected by rectangular faces, right? 4 faces at the sides, and then we have the base and the top and the base. So these shapes, these objects, these 3-dimensional objects, remember it has area at the base, which is 2 dimensions, length and width, and then it has height. So that gives it length times width times height, which is volume. Prisms have volume. We could open them up and fill them up with stuff. And this actually is full of chalk. And this one is full of paper clips. Right, so prisms have volume, we can fill them up with stuff. Now we have special names for some prisms. So the square-based prism is called a cube. So once it's square on all sides, base, top, side, it's called a cube. And an example is the die. You know the die that you toss when you're doing probability or anything, or playing certain games, you toss the die, plural dice. That's an example of a cube. The rectangular prism, like the 2 I just showed you, the paperclip box and the chalk box, those are cuboids, rectangular prisms. Rectangular base, rectangular top, and connected by rectangular sides. This is the triangular prism. The triangular prism, and many times when people say prism, this is the one they're talking about. For example, when we say that a prism is used to split white light into the spectrum, in the different colors of the spectrum, this would be the prism they're referring to, right? So sometimes, generally speaking, they say prism, they mean the triangular prism, but there are other types of prism, because prism just means identical base and top connected by rectangular sides. So we know we have a square base prism, rectangular base prism, this is just a triangular base prism, and some of us want to include the circular prism, the cylinder, even though some people are trying to keep him out. Some of us are saying, no, let the guy come, let him come. So circular top, circular bottom, the cylinder. And remember, it says that the base can be any polygon. We can have a pentagonal prism, hexagonal prism, 6 sides, right? The base and the top would be the same shape. Octagonal prism, any number of sides. We have regular prisms, irregular prisms, if the sides are all of equal length or if they are not. Now, what about the pyramid? Is the pyramid a prism? What is a pyramid? The pyramid actually is not a prism because the base and the top are not the same. The top of the pyramid actually converges to an apex, a vertex. So it doesn't have the same shape at the top as the bottom. So if we have a triangular pyramid, they all meet up here, all the sides meet up here at the top, right? Or we could have a square base or rectangular base pyramid. All of them, all the sides come up to the apex. So you see, that's not a prism. The pyramid is different from the prism because it meets at a point at the top. Whereas the prism must have the same base as the top. So that's a distinction between the pyramid and the prism. Alright, so that's it for prisms. If you have been helped by this video, you know I'm looking for you to say thank you. Miss, I love when you say thank you because it means that you appreciate me. And I love to feel appreciated. I would love also for you to share this video with other students so they can benefit from the information. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and click the bell so you will know when other videos are posted. And if you check our catalog and you don't see the video you're looking for, let me know which topic you'd like me to do a video on, and you know I'll be right on it. My scholars, thank you for joining me. Keep practicing your maths. Keep spreading the word that maths is not hard. Tell everybody maths is not hard. Lose your fear of math. Spread the word, and I'll see you in the next video.